Mark Szymanski, welcome to PressConf.
Medeiros, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to be here.
I saw you come across the calendar. I was like, oh God, I gotta talk to him again for the millionth time. MJS.bio, I think that's where folks can go to find more about you. Is there another website you want folks to visit to learn more about Mark Szymanski?
Honestly, everything else is hard to spell. If you just go there, there's a bunch of links. You can check it all out. Just YouTube and everything like that. I think you'll get some value out of it if you head there.
Some folks have called you my companion, my student, oftentimes my protege. Don't know if I agree with any of those, but I am excited that you will be coming to PressConf, the new chapter of what once was called Pressnomics, and I'm certainly excited to see you there and get to have you experience a little bit more of the in-person pure WordPress business experience happening later in April. You can find out everything at the PressConf website, linked to wherever you're watching or listening to this in the description. What's the biggest thing that you're excited to experience at PressConf that is, in your mind anyway, vastly different than what you've experienced at a WordCamp? Like, what do you expect to get out of this event, Mark?
Yeah, like you said, I've only been to one WordCamp. It was US 2024, and that was a great time meeting everybody in person that I had just pretty much just met online. So it's kind of cool to see that. But I do think PressConf, at least how it's been built, because again, I wasn't at the previous iteration, is I think I'm just excited for everybody to hopefully have even more of their business cap on. I do think at WordCamp, if you're in the hallway track discussions, a lot of people are thinking like that. But just being in the room, like the one singular room with everybody, and then also hanging out with people, my anticipation and my thought process around PressConf is going to be really impactful from that way for me, because that's something that I'm always trying to do, whether it's content side, agency side. I'm always trying to get and just learn from the wisdom of people like yourself, Matt, and so many other people that I'm going to see there. So I'm just super excited to think about the business side more than just the technology and just the WordPress, how we can actually utilize that to scale what we're doing.
One of the great things about PressConf are the talks. Well, I've been saying this. I'm going to continue to say this in a lot of these PressConf episodes leading up to the event, but the venue is fantastic. I think it lends itself to a great conference experience. Conference room attached to the hotel, which a lot of them are, but this is not a very big hotel. There's a nice courtyard, and the way I think people flow in and out of these areas really cultivates, Raquel won't like to say it, but a hallway track experience. But it's one of these things where you definitely don't want to miss the presentations, because they're not being recorded, and any of that intense content isn't something that we're used to seeing at a WordCamp or maybe even other events, any other business kind of conference. A lot of people sort of put on their experience of their presentation. I don't want to say they're shallow, but they're certainly not giving you the, cold hard truth about a lot of things. And I think at PressConf, because it's not recorded, it's only happening in the room, people sort of are a little bit more raw with these presentations. And I think that, it's going to be great. It's great, valuable information for me. I'm certainly sure it'll be great information for you. And that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. It's those kind of like really, deep conversations that I think a lot of people are going to really walk away from this event saying, yeah, that was worth it. And I think that's why year two of PressConf will be even better once people see and realize this, because there's a whole new generation of you out there doing this WordPress business thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to spearhead that and pioneer that as much as I can. Just try to learn, try and share everything that I do. So, yeah, I'm excited for the raw talks too. I mean, because I feel like you said, sometimes if things are being recorded, I don't know, you might get like kind of weird about that in other dynamics. But I think that we're gonna have a lot of professionals in the room, and they go through things day in, day out, and everyone's just trying to continue to again, like I said, scale what they're trying to do. So I'm excited for the real world conversations for sure.
You've been to one WordCamp US, met you out there on the West Coast end of last summer. What's your biggest tip for somebody who might be new-ish to the WordPress event space, whether it's a WordCamp or PressConf? What's your big takeaway? What should people be looking to do when they hit the ground at an event?
I think that I was in a particularly interesting situation with the WordCamp because I was already very active online. I was meeting, again, people like you, Matt, people like literally so many people that I was there. So I didn't feel weird when I got there. I didn't feel like I was out of place. I didn't feel like I had to, go up and like completely, cold introduce myself to a lot of people. So I do think that definitely helps. If you can do that, if you have the opportunity to do that and make those connections, I would definitely say beforehand. But when you do get there, the caveat to everything I'm saying there is if you know people, that's great. But if you don't know people, people are nice. Everybody is, they've either paid to be there, they're a speaker, they're there to, the cool thing about being at a conference, especially one as intimate as PressConf is, that everyone's all there for the same reason. They're there to connect with people. They're there to do business, trade ideas, that type of thing. So anybody that you go up to, I would be shocked if anybody's like, mean to you or doesn't want to talk to you or anything like that. So I would say don't be afraid. If you see me, come up and say hi to me. Everybody is going to be, I think, welcoming in that way, because as long as you have the right values, I'm not saying like go up and just start trying to sell something to somebody, but if you're trying to build genuine rapport with people, I think you're hard pressed to say anybody in that room and in this at this event is going to be not willing to chop it up with you and kind of give you some advice and trade different ideas and things like that. I just feel like that's the kind of community mentality that we have here.
Yeah, it's the business of WordPress, right? So I think for a lot of folks, one might question like, WordCamps are super cheap, right? $50, $70, whatever the number is. I don't know, might go up in the next couple of years, probably should go up in the next couple of years. But the travel and the stay is, what you're spending the most amount of money on when you go to a WordCamp. You start to try to justify like, is this worth this for my business? Am I going to meet clients there? That kind of thing. I mean, I think anyone watching this or listening to this with a WordPress business, that's why you go to PressConf. And yes, the ROI is amazing because everyone there, I say everyone, but everyone there should be much more willing to sit down with you, get a one-on-one, give you advice. But also, if you can find business there, like this is the place. Like there's no other event where you can really align those stars that give you that best WordPress business ROI, right? So, reaching out to somebody like Mark, meeting with him. If you're a brand and you're like, I'm looking for this content creator personality to help me out with my stuff, Mark's a great guy to connect with. If you're agency owner, there's other agency owners that are going to be there, WordPress product companies, marketing, hosting companies. Like you're going to make the most out of it by connecting with others. And it should be easy, right? Yeah. This should be easy at an event like this. I hope anyway.
Yeah. I think just to compound on that is, before you go, maybe just like sit down and like actually think about what just Matt said there. Like if you are an agency owner, if you are a product brand, like have a little bit of some semblance of a plan. If you actually want to make sure, because sometimes these types of events, the ROI, if you haven't been there, can be like, kind of like a little intangible. Like you don't necessarily know how you're going to get it out. Don't think of it in terms of money. You can't think of it in terms of money right away. It's not like, you're going to necessarily strike a deal right there. But if you can build, again, just going back to my WordCamp experience, the actual in-person relationships that I built at WordCamp US 2024, I feel like have just been extremely valuable, regardless of if they've like fully came to like some sort of, fruition with like, literal money ROI. That's not the point. The point is that you're meeting people and you're actually in the space. If you want to be in the space for the long haul, I do think that you need to always continue to build that rapport and just have a plan when you go there. Be like, I want to meet, 4 different brands or something like that. And anybody that you see on YouTube or on, X or anything like that, just don't be afraid to go up and just introduce yourself.
Mark, put you on the hot seat for our last question here. WordPress content or agency work, what's your 2025 outlook look like for Szymanski Media? Are you going to be spending more time creating content or are you going to double down and do this agency stuff?
Wow, that's a pertinent question right there. That's very poignant and on topic. I'll give you the short answer because you can go to YouTube and kind of see as I continue to do everything. But the short answer is that, the last year and some change, I've been heavily involved in the WordPress community, making content, really trying to unravel the rat's nest of everything, the whole apparatus and everything like that. Matt and I have had many conversations about this, and I've learned a ton. And I think that where I'm headed in 2025 specifically is that I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm going to do it in a way where I've gotten to that point now where I feel like I know a good bit. I'm not like a total noob in that area anymore. So I kind of know how to like leverage that a little bit more and things like that. So I'm definitely still doing content, always interested to learn new technical skills, brands, and collab and all that sort of stuff. However, one of my longer term goals is to be more of a consultant, a coach to people that are also trying to get into this realm, because I feel like I naturally understand things and then I can communicate them pretty well. So what I do want to do is in 2025 here, I'm going to be pivoting a little bit back into the agency world as well, because I don't want to lose sight of that and I want to get better at that. And quite frankly, I just want to generate more revenue in that space so that I can help the people that are now my audience members actually do the same and continue to scale what they're trying to do. So it'll be a hybrid approach, but I'm excited for all of it because I'm just going to continue to learn, try, and share everything that I do, which is what I already do. So that's great.
Mark Szymanski, never afraid to share what he's up to, what's on his mind, and how he's learning and navigating this interesting WordPress space. You can find him on April 23rd through the 26th at PressConf. You can find more info at PressConf.events. You can buy tickets there. You can check out the Mission Palms Resort as well. I keep speaking it up because I think it is a great place. PressConf.events. He is Mark Szymanski. You can find him at mjs.bio. Mark, anywhere else you want folks to go?
That's perfect. mjs.bio. Type it in, and I will see you soon. Thank you guys so much for having me. Appreciate this, Matt.